All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, as you can see on the screen here, we got a pretty fun one lined up for you today. Nothing too competitive here, just a little bit, a little bit of something off meta, a little bit rogue here with some purple-black king. Okay, I've got a control deck built for y'all today that we're going to go over. All right, so let's go ahead and hop straight into it. Very standard video. We're going to be checking out the deck list first, going over that. Then we only got 3 games to go over today on the sim, guys, because it's been a busy week for me. But then after that, we're going to check out the deck list one more time, and then we'll we'll recap and I'll tell you guys what I think about it moving forward. Okay, so as usual, I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. All right, so let's go ahead and break down this deck list, guys, starting off with the leader. King is a purple-black, 5,000 power, 4-life leader, Animal Kingdom Pirates type, with activate main once per turn, Dawn -2, choose one. Okay, if your hand is 5 or less cards, draw a card, or you could give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost for this turn. Those are actually very helpful. They're very useful for what we're doing here, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. So now we're going to run through the entire deck list. If you're a newer player, be sure to pause and read what each one of these cards do, okay? So we're running 2 Tony Chopper. We're running 2 Hidekiri Kamazo. We're running 4 Eustace Captain Kidd, 4 Sanji, the 2K counter Sanji, running 4 Charlotte Katakuri, running 4 Charlotte Linlin, running 2 Suru, running 2 Fukuro, running 4 Bartolomeo, 4 Borsellino, 2 Rebecca, 4 Sabo, 4 Jack, 4 Kuzan, and 4 of the stage. So what are we trying to do with this deck? As I was saying in the intro, it's more of a control deck. That's what we're going for. Notice there's a very specific keyword in this deck that might look a little overrepresented, okay? Give you guys some hint. I'm going to say all these cards and tell me what they all have in common. Chopper, Eustace Captain Kidd, Sanji, Katakuri, Fukuro, Bartolomeo, Borsellino, Rebecca, and Sabo. What do all of those cards have in common? That's right, they're all blockers. Okay, so we are running a very heavy blocker package. This is meant to be a wall-up early deck and then start slamming down the biggest, meanest characters that we can in the purple-black card pool, okay? So this is meant to be a fortress-style deck. And understand, guys, right away, if you're wondering, why don't you run this card in the deck, or why don't you run this card, please give us some ideas down in the comment section below. This is a deck that I put together. It is still in the alpha and beta stages here. It is not nearly complete or finished or fine-tuned or anything like that. But I think it might have some potential, and we'll talk about that as we're going through the video. So notice the top-end package here. When it comes to, like, Jack and Kuzan, if these two get down on the board, it's pretty much game over, right? Because you're just going to remove every single thing they drop down with the Jack and the Kuzan combo. And I mean literally anything with this combo, because you might be thinking, like, well, what if they drop down a 10-cost character? Well, guys, let me direct your attention back to the leader. We can remember, guys, if we're on 10 Dawn, like if we played out Jack on curve into Kuzan, well, now we're on 10 Dawn. So our leader effect kind of becomes free to an extent, where we can just Dawn -2 to either -2 cost a character for the turn or draw a card if we have 5 or less cards in hand. So after we get to a certain point, our Jack plus Kuzan engine pretty much just goes crazy, right? We're just going to be able to get rid of whatever we need to. And one thing to remember when it comes to Jack, guys, Rebecca can get this card out of the trash. Even though this is an 11-cost character on the board, it's not an 11-cost character in general, right? So this is a 7-cost character we can get out of the trash with Rebecca if we need to later in the game. Okay, what else? We are running a bunch of just random blockers here and there. I was trying out a bunch of different cards to see what I liked the best. We were running 2 Fukuro and 2 Tony Chopper. The Tony Chopper is probably a little more practical for what we're trying to do, especially if we need to use our leader effect early on for whatever reason. The Tony Chopper probably has a little more value. However, maybe not, right? Because when it comes to Fukuro, this is a card we can pull out of the trash as well with Rebecca if we need to, right? This is a card, Fukuro is a card we can pull out of the trash with Rebecca and throw down another blocker, something to buy us some time and to, make our opponent attack into it. So it does have that going on for it as well. And this card cannot be KO'd by effects, okay? Chopper can, but that's not a big deal. But the fact that Fukuro cannot be KO'd by effects might help you against certain matchups. Now, the -2 effect we just talked about with this leader, you know, you're probably going to usually use it to draw a card, but every now and then you are going to use it to combo with something like Jack to KO something, and it has an extra level of synergy in this list with Hitakiri Kamazo. Okay, pause and read this card very carefully if you don't understand what it does. But pretty much what will end up happening is with your leader effect and this card, you can hit a 4-cost character. So that means if you have, if you have down the Kuzan, you're going to be able to hit a 9-cost character just by drawing a card with your leader effect. You know, if you know what I mean. Just Dawn -2 and then KO something, right? Actually, not drawing a card. To hit the 9 cost, we have to do the leader effect, -2 to the character, and then use this to KO it as well. And again, that was with Kuzan on the board. Now, usually we're going to probably use this as a 2K counter, but if you're going against a deck that goes super wide on the board, this card's very strong. And one thing I actually will mention straight up, you know, in the beginning here, I usually save these kind of revisions for later on after we go through the games. But I think I'm going to go up to 4 of this card over the Sanji, like just swap their ratios to go 4 Hitakiri Kamazo and only 2 of the blocker Sanji. This card really didn't come up too much in my testing, but again, it's not that it's a bad card. I think we might just have a better option in this Kamazo card. Okay, what else? So again, early on, guys, so when it comes to your mulligan, you're going to want a mulligan unless you have this card in your hand. If you have this card in your hand, pretty much keep it, right? This is the main engine of the deck. If you don't see this card, I feel like your win percent goes down by probably like 5 or 10%, you know, if you know what I mean. It's just completely, it is so very important to what we're doing, especially if we can go first and play this out on turn 2. Really, really good combination there for us to get into the late game and actually be able to use our leader effect early on for utility reasons and all that good stuff. Now, there are a lot of bricks in this deck, guys. Notice this. We are running, I think, exactly 20 bricks. But we have a lot of cycle as well, right? We have 4 Sabos and the 4 Jacks. So we do have a lot of ways to cycle cards in this deck, but it would be nice if we can tighten this number up a little bit, maybe go just to 3 Charlotte Linlins and 3 Kuzans maybe, then keep the rest the way it is, and maybe that will be enough. We'll have to see, because that will drop us from 20 bricks down to 18, and that is actually, you know, a pretty big difference at that point. Every single time you can drop that down a little bit, it does make a big difference. And what to replace those cards with, maybe just like a 0-cost event to help with the other bricks. Because these 0-cost events here, guys, like 6 King Pistol or the purple one, Jet Gatling, these are really nice. And actually, for this list, Jet Gatling would be perfect, because if we hit that trigger to ramp Dawn, that's just a thumbs up, you know, everything's good about that. And it can also help us fix our hand later in the game. Okay, so what else? That's really about it for the list, guys. You're just meant to, I mean, notice all these blockers. You just block her up, and you go from there. This deck is just meant to put down a blocker after a blocker after a blocker, attack into their board. Don't focus on trying to rush them down. This is meant to take full control of the game at the end of the game, and to go from there. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and check this deck out on the sim and see it in action. All right, first game up we have against Purple-Yellow Crocodile. Volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Now, before I click play, guys, let me say this right now. We do prefer to go first. We talked a little bit about the mulligan in the deck, you know, breakdown. But essentially, you're going to try to go first, and then always get that stage. That's the whole idea, but if you can't, it's not a big deal. Now, one more thing I want to mention, guys, is this is very much an off-meta deck. Okay, so if you're expecting to see games against, you know, all the different meta matchups out there, I hate to get your hopes up, guys, but I don't think this leader is quite on the level of the meta decks. It is what it is. Maybe we need to keep figuring it out, and maybe we can get it close to that. We'll have to see what we can do. Now, first game up we have against Purple-Yellow Crocodile. Volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Okay, so we got the stage. We're just going to keep the hand no matter what. Whether we're going first or second, we're keeping the hand. We would prefer to go first, and we want to play the stage out right away, but if we can't, that's fine as well. Okay, so they're going to swing for 8. We're just going to go ahead and take this. We're on 4 Dawn. We're going to develop the stage early on. We'll swing for 6 first. That's just good sequencing. And then, okay, they actually got a trigger. That was really unfortunate for us. And then we're going to ramp with the Dawn. Or, excuse me, ramp a Dawn with the stage. Okay, so now we're up to 5 Dawn. They're on 5 Dawn as well. Because remember, that trigger effect with Miss All Sunday doesn't really matter in Purple-Yellow Crocodile, right? Because they get the Dawn right back, I believe. Okay, so they attack in for 6 and 6. We counter out of one of those, and then we take the other one. We're going to go 5 into 5. We're just trying to get cards out of their hand. We're not trying to... Let me pause real quick, guys. We aren't trying to rush this game. In fact, we're trying to slow it down as much as we possibly can. We did not see any early blockers that we could play out on curve because we had to develop the stage, but that's okay. We're going to get down the the Jack now, and we're going to be able to Dawn -2 either of these cards, really, but we want to get rid of that Mr. 2 Boncray Bentham, because he'll be able to attack for 8 versus the 5 of the Miss All Sunday. Okay, so we attack for 5 into the Miss All Sunday. They counter out. We develop Jack. We go Dawn -2. We go -2 on the Boncray Bentham. We use the Jack to KO it. Okay? All right, so now they do have a target on the board for them to hit. They definitely want to get this Jack out of the way. Okay, but watch this. They play out a 7-cost Charlotte Linlin. Well, now they can't even attack into my Jack, right? Because he's an 8,000 power character. They're going to swing for 5. We are going to counter out. Paul's targets, let me explain something real quick, guys. As far as, like, counter priority goes on what you want to counter out of with your hand first, Borsalino and Sabo are the very first things you want to counter out with, or even Fukuro. I would even say Borsalino before Fukuro, because Fukuro is easier to play out for 3 to finish up your turn if you have to make a really, how do I say this? If you have to do a bunch of different plays for your turn, where you only have a few Dawn left at the end, Fukuro is really good for that. However, generally speaking, 2K counters are good to counter out with at any time, but when it comes to 1K counters, don't be afraid to trash Borsalino or Sabo. Those are like the priority targets to get rid of as soon as possible, because we can always just bring those back later with something like Rebecca if we need to. Okay, so they swing in for 5 here. We're probably just going to give them the, notice this, guys. Okay, I was going to say, we almost gave them the Chopper there, and I don't think that would have been the right call. We give them the Fukuro. We can bring that back later with Rebecca if we need to. Okay, well, we're not out of it yet, guys. We're actually still in a little bit of trouble here. We're at 9 Dawn after using the stage to ramp, so we're going to swing 5 into 5 here, and if we can, let's see what we choose to do here. We swing for 5. They just come my way and redirect my attack into Charlotte Linlin. That is unfortunate, right? So they basically just countered our attack, but it only took 1 card from hand, which would have been the same as like a 1 or 2K counter. We're going to play out the Hitakiri Kamazo here, and we are going to use the leader effect to go -2. To give, we're going to go Dawn -2 and give -2 cost to the Miss All Sunday. And now we're just going to use the Jack's effect here. We're going to trash a card from hand. We're going to trash the Sabo, getting rid of the Miss All Sunday, and then developing a Tony Chopper to help out our Dawn a little bit. And now we'll be on 10 Dawn next turn. Okay, guys, we're very, very close to stabilizing. We're very, very close to stabilizing. They're going to play out a Kazuki Hiyori here to set the top card of their life. And then I think they also use a Zeus this turn. Yeah, they're going to use a Zeus here to take the bottom card of their life, so it doesn't mess up their Hiyori, the card they set there with Hiyori. And they're going to get rid of my Chopper blocker. They're going to swing in for 7. They're going to swing in for 10. We're down to 0 life. How are we going to crawl out of this, guys? How are we going to get out of this? So we are actually at a position here where we want to be at. Watch this. We are at 10 Dawn. We have Jack on the board. We have Hitakiri Kamazo, and we have our leader effect. So we can actually cause a lot of damage this turn, right? We can cause a lot of damage. I am seeing I am checking my hand, though. Here's the problem with that play. Pause. I can't just slam down the 10 cost, can I? If I slam down the 10 cost, he just swings 15 at my face, and I lose the game on the crackback. So in this situation, unfortunately, we can't do the Kuzan play, and that play would have been disgusting, right? Listen to how that play would have gone, guys. So for 10 Dawn, we play that out, we get rid of the Zeus, right? Then we use our leader effect to Dawn -2, and probably -2 cost to the, well, I guess it doesn't matter. We can actually draw a card, right? Because our Jack will be able to hit anything on the board at that point. So, and I guess we have too many cards in the hand. Whatever, you guys get the point. We'll Dawn -2 with our leader, KO something with the Kamazo, and then we use Jack to KO the other. So we will basically KO their entire board this turn. They'll be left with a 0-cost Hiyori. And yes, we would KO the Shirahoshi just to get that card off the board, the blocker off the board, and that way they'll gain a life from it, and that's fine. We don't really care. Okay, but we can't do that play. We actually can't do that, or we just lose. So we have to play out the Rebecca. We're going to use the Rebecca to pull out a Fukuro from the trash. Playing it out on the field, we have another blocker for next turn now, and now we still have 6 Dawn left to play with for the turn. We're going to Dawn -2 with our leader effect here to go -2 cost, I guess, to the Linlin, but I don't think that's really going to matter. And we don't have any other cost reduction. We're just going to have to swing for 10 into this Linlin and hope for the best, guys. We have no other option here. So that's why we KO'd the blocker with the Hitakiri Kamazo, so we can go 10 into 8. We're just hoping that it would go through. It did go through, and now we're going to be able to establish a Borsalino, and that will help us ignore any kind of 5K attacks they might have next turn. Okay, so guys, we're at 0 life, but we do have some decent counter power in hand. We have 2, 4, 5k counter in hand. We have 3 blockers on the board. They attacked into the blocker that was rested. We're completely fine with that, but they play out a Yamato, KOing my Rebecca, but that is fine. We have a blocker now. We can slam down the Kuzan. Watch this, guys. There's about to be fireworks. So, okay, pause. What just happened? We played out the Kuzan. We got to go back and talk about this, guys. This is a big, big turn here. So watch this. 10 Dawn. For the turn, we're going to play down the 10 cost Kuzan. That's going to KO the Zeus, right? Now, their entire board is subtracted by 5. They have -5 cost to the whole board. We're now going to use our leader effect. We have 5 cards in our hand, but we have to go -3 to the cost of the Yamato, or -2 to the cost of the Yamato, because they're still a 4 cost and we can't hit it with our Jack. So we're going to go -2 cost the Yamato. That was a Dawn minus effect. Now our Hitakiri Kamazo is going to KO the Hiyori, and then our Jack's going to KO the Yamato. Okay, guys, we're at that point now where our opponent is in deep, deep trouble. Okay, so we do everything I just said there. We're obviously not going to attack at all, just in case they get some kind of trigger. We can't risk them even attacking once. We're going to use this time to just, you know, sit on this board the way it is. They have 4 cards in hand. They attack in. We give them the blocker. But guys, remember what this deck does. We have a lot of blockers. Okay, we're going to swing for 5 now that we have access to Jack's effect. Because if they get a trigger, a character from their trigger, we can KO it with the Jack. Okay, so swing for 5. They counter out. We'll swing for 10. This is a card they set there with the Hiyori earlier, and now we're just going to remove it with Jack, trashing the stage. That card's gone. Now we're going to play out probably the, yeah, I like adding the, playing out the 9 Lin here to gain a life. We'll Dawn -2. We will trash the other Lin. I maybe should have trashed the Chopper or the Eustace Kid in this situation, actually, and gone from there. But that's okay. Okay, we use our leader effect to draw a card now. And we're back up to 5 cards. We have a life. We don't have a blocker this turn, but even if they have a Sanji, like a 7 cost Rush Sanji, they can only swing for, what, 7 and 8, I believe, and we can get out of one of those no problem. Okay, they play out a Crocodile, but guys, now that I have these cards on the board, it is lockdown. We are in lockdown control mode. Whatever they play, every turn is going to get KO'd, every single turn. Now, if they gain life from it with like a Kikanojo or whatever on KO effects, like even like a Shirahoshi, sure, that's fine. We don't really care. That's completely fine. Okay, so we're going to swing 9, swing 10, and we are not swinging with the Jack. We're going to use that effect to rest, fix our hand a little bit, KOing that card. And now, guys, we're just going to block her up. We're going to play out one of these blockers here, grabbing a Borsellino. We're not going to play anything out with the effect because we're just going to play a card here, but we're going to Dawn -2 first. Actually, I just messed that up, guys. Pause. So we actually just messed that up. We messed up the sequencing. What we should have done was played out a Borsellino or a Chopper first, whatever. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. And then Dawn -2 to draw a card. So we did mess up the sequencing there a little bit, but hey, it happens. Okay? So they play out the Tony Chopper. We get our Dawn back and everything, and now it's their turn. Okay, we have 2 blockers now, and our counter's getting stronger and stronger. Now we went from only 5k counter, now we're up to 6k counter, and we have 2 blockers. We have a life. This game is pretty much in lockdown control mode. It's over. They're going to go ahead and just tap out. They could have tried to survive one more turn, but now we're starting to swing in for 9s and 10s every single turn, and we have the removal still built in after that, and all the blockers. We have a life, and whenever we get another Charlotte Lin, we can gain even more life. Okay, good game to our opponent. But that's what the deck is supposed to do there, guys. If we can just make it to the late game and establish this board state, we're going to be doing all right. Okay, so that was the first game. That one was against Purple Yellow Crocodile. Next game we have against Boa. Okay, we got a game versus Boa Hancock. So volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Okay, nice. We got the stage in our opening hand, so we're going first. Very nice. They play out Pudding to get their hand size down for their leader effect later. We're going to swing in for 5, and we're going to slam down the stage, ramping up to 4 Dawn. Their turn. This is an ideal start for us, going first, getting down the stage, and going from there. And we have really strong late game cards in our hand to get to as well. Okay, here we go. They're going to play out the Doflamingo to fix their hand a little bit. They're going to swing in for 5. We're going to go ahead and take that. And they have 1 Dawn left for the turn. I couldn't imagine them using this. They're actually, oh, very nice, pause. So, guys, they had that whole thing planned. Did you see what they just did there? Watch this. This was a very subtle play they had set up. So, on a 4 Dawn turn, they played out the Pudding on their 2 Dawn turn, right? The card in their hand, Pudding. And then they played out the Doflamingo for 3 with 1 Dawn left. They do a top 5. They set the top 5 cards of their deck. And watch this, guys. Watch what they do. Now they're going to return the Pudding to their hand, which draws them a card from their leader effect, draws them to the card they set with the Doflamingo, playing out the carrot. Very nice play by my opponent. Really good stuff there. Okay, so now we are going to swing for 6 with our leader. Let's see if they choose to use the carrot here. Or just use a 2K counter maybe. We know they have the 2K counter pudding. They go ahead and use that. That was very wise. We're going to ramp a Dawn. We're going to play out the Sabo just to fix our hand a little bit, and now we're going to pass it back. Now, Sabo is not a great card against blue because they can bounce it or bottom deck it or whatever, but that's okay. We want to get those cards out of their way now just so we can, have better safety in the late game for these cards. And that way, and let me say one more thing too, if they get rid of the Sabo, we don't really care, but we'd rather keep something like Eustace Captain Kidd on the board, right? So the idea there, the logic is if they bottom deck a Sabo early on, I don't care at all. But if they bottom deck a Eustace Captain Kidd, that's less than ideal, right? Okay. So now we're on a 9 Dawn turn, but we're up to 10 Dawn from our stage. So that means we can use our leader effect right away if we need to. Okay, let's see what happens here. I think we're going to go ahead and swing in for 6 right here. Yeah, because we want to use 8 Dawn for the Charlotte Katakuri. We're going to swing 6. They give me a 2K counter. We're going to use the Katakuri here to, well, we couldn't return any Dawn because we had 6 cards in our hand, unfortunately. Maybe we should have countered out a little bit more aggressively this game so that we could actually cash in on what we just, could have cashed in on there if we had 5 cards in hand. Okay, so they play out a carrot. What happened to the last carrot? Did they use that to get out of my last attack? Oh, no, excuse me. They bounced the carrot back to their hand with the Jozu, okay? Notice, look at that. I'm actually mousing over it right now in the game. I think I had the same question then. So they're going to swing for 9. We're actually going to block and 2K counter out of this because we can get out of a 10K attack if they do that with Jozu, which they choose to do, which was the right call by them. That was a really good play by them. But, Paul, I had to play things in that way because if I start taking these attacks, guys, they start hitting me with Charlotte Pudding, and then it's... then it goes downhill really quickly from there. Okay, we're on a 10 Dawn turn. Here we go. Watch this, guys. We're going to use the Kuzan here to KO the blocker. We're going to swing for 8 into 7. Now, they have a little bit of a play mistake here, but but watch this, guys. So we swing for 8 into 7. That carrot can only protect on opponent's attack your leader. But watch this. I don't swing with my leader this turn because they could have used the carrot then. So I want to respect them at least in that way. I don't swing with my leader on purpose this turn because they could have used the carrot for that. Okay, so we use our leader effect to draw a card, though. We're back up to 10 Dawn after using our leader effect from the stage and the Katakuri. And guys, at this point right here, if I just draw to a Jack, it is game over, right? Now, blue does have things like Red Rock to deal with these really big characters, but they do go ahead and tap out. One thing they could have done this turn, potentially, was play out the Kaido to bounce back my Katakuri. But guys, at that point, I'm not really in a rush, right? All we're going to do after that is just replay it on the next turn, swing in with our leader effect, and go from there. And we could even swing in for 10 with our Kuzan if we needed to, and play out the Tony Chopper as well. So swing 5, swing 10, replay the Katakuri and a Tony Chopper, drawing an extra card with our King, and just, again, going from there, just being able to do so much. And then it wouldn't matter as much with their Kaido play. But either way, good game to my opponent. They tapped out pretty early there. They still had 5 life left, but they even said in the chat, they're like, hey, good game. Because I think they kind of saw what was going on there. But guys, I didn't have access to Jack just yet. And if I don't get access to Jack, then, that changes everything. But either way, good game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. We got one more game, guys. We have one versus Carrot. Okay? All right. Let's go full screen. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. And here we go. Okay, we got a game versus Green Carrot. I know that, people are probably thinking like, oh, wow. So a deck that has, like, black removal against a green deck? I know. Hear me out, though, guys. We're trying to figure out what works for the deck and what doesn't. So we're going to swing for 8. We have no turn 1 or 2 play here, guys. We didn't get the stage. We didn't get Fukuro. We didn't get Chopper. We didn't get anything that we need on turn 1 and 2. Okay? They're going to search up the stage and play it. They're going to play out the Bartolomeo. They're swinging in for 6. And I'm starting to think, oh, man. This is not good. They are off to the races here. So we're on 5 Dawn. Now, this is the best time. Pause. I have to say this real quick, guys. This is like the best time to play out Sabo is early on to fix your hand a little bit. Because we didn't have a whole lot of counter power in hand. Actually, excuse me, I think we had decent counter power, but we didn't have enough late game. And now we drew into a Katakuri, and now we're looking okay here. I was also going to use this to try to find the stage one more time. Because after this turn, it's pretty much too late. Okay, so we trashed, I think it was 2 Borsalinos. We're going to swing in for 5. We should have swung for 5 first, technically, but then we're going to pass the turn back. So we're going to go from 5 Dawn to 7 Dawn. That's going to let us play out the Jack right away. But here's the thing that's really unfortunate. We can't even use Dawn -2 with our leader effect, or we'll just stay on 7 Dawn for the rest of the game, and we have to get to our 8-cost Katakuri and our 10-cost Kuzan. So we're not going to be able to take out that carrot they just played. Okay, 7 Dawn, like I said, swing for 5. They're probably just going to counter out of this. Yep, they give us a counter here. I think that was a 2K, by the way. I think Milky might be a 2K. I can't remember. But we're going to go ahead and play out the Jack here. We're going to KO Bartolomeo, and then we're going to pass it back to them. We can't use our leader effects just yet, guys. I mean, we can, but I think it will slow us down too much. And that's why the stage is so important, because if we had the stage, we could have used our leader effect this turn to get rid of that carrot, and even, like, you know, and then get the Dawn back with the stage and go to 8 Dawn next turn still. It would still slow us down a little bit, but it's much more manageable that way. So they swing for 10 into Jack, and we're just going to 2K, 1K counter out. They swing in for 5. I think we countered out of that as well, but we're down to 2 life, guys. We're not in the best spot. Their board is full. However, we're starting to get to that point in the game where I can start catching up to them. Now watch this, guys. We're going to swing for 6. We have 8 Dawn left. But the way that Katakuri works, we're going to basically go up to 10 Dawn this turn, so we can use our leader effect to get rid of some of their cards here. So use our leader effect, Dawn -2 to the carrot. We're going to draw a card and trash card with Jack, getting rid of the carrot. And now we're going to ramp a Dawn back with our Katakuri and pass it back, and now we're on 8 Dawn. They messed up a little bit here, guys. They should have swung first. Now, don't get me wrong. I would not be playing into the Doflamingo. That's like one of Carrot's best plays, right? But they should have done that first, technically, because I may have blocked. Now, we go ahead and we do block afterwards, though, because the coast is clear. And now we're on a 10 Dawn turn. And, guys, we're going to go 8 into 6. Let's see if they want to give me a 2K, 1K. Okay, they do. Bad news. We're just going to play out the Kuzan and get rid of the card anyway. We're going to Dawn -2 to draw a card now. And we're in a situation now, guys, whenever you get the Katakuri on the board, I mean, this is pretty much the perfect situation to be in, where we have the Kuzan, the Katakuri, and Jack on the board. Now we're drawing an extra card every turn with our leader effect. We have the blocker. We have basically double attack on the board because we have Kuzan and Katakuri coming in, and then Katakuri stands with the blocker, and then Jack is just cleaning up everything that hits the board. They're going to go 10 into 8. We're going to 2K, 1K to get out of that. And, yep, guys, y'all know where this is going, right? We all see where this is going. Now, they do have a Pedro on the board. That complicates things. On KO, he can rest a Dawn, or he can KO a character that costs 5 or less, right? So we actually just go ahead and play out the Charlotte Linlin, bouncing that card to the bottom of their life. We gain life as well. And now we're going to go ahead and KO the Pedro now, before we have our Sabo rested, and while a Dawn is attached to them. Now we're going to swing for 5, then we're going to swing for 7, and then we're going to go from there. Okay, leader effect. We're going to go ahead and draw a card with that, swing for 7. And now watch this, guys. We're going to swing in for 8. Okay, if they had not, pause. So if they had taken that hit, guys, we actually would not have attacked again, because I don't want to give them the opportunity to replay out the Doflamingo. It might not have even mattered, to be honest, but I think that would have still been the right play. If they had actually taken that last hit, then we would have not swung with the Kuzan. Okay, but they countered out, and now they go and take this hit, and now we're going to pass the turn back. We get Katakuri as active here. They're going to play out a Wanda, but guys, this is that point of the game where it's like, okay, this is big trouble here. They're in big trouble. I think they should have froze my my Jack with the Lawn Beppo. Okay, but that's okay. We're not going to complain too much about that. And we also have a slight play mistake here, but that's okay. So we swing for 7. This ends up counter. They're at 7,000 power because of the Lawn Beppo. They give me a 1K counter. We're going to swing for 7 more. I want to get all the cards out of their hand. Nice. They give me the last card in hand. Okay, now we're not attacking anymore, right? Now we're not attacking anymore. We're going to use our leader effect to Dawn -2 to the cost of the Lawn Beppo, KOing it with Jack, and we're just going to pass. Now they're in full top deck mode. We have a blocker. We have 3 life. We have 2, 4, 6, 7,000 counter in hand. There's pretty much no way we can lose this one, right, guys? Pretty much no way we can lose. Okay, good game to our opponent there. They top decked a carrot. Nothing they can do about that. And even if they had top decked that Electrical Luna, guys, I only have 1 character that it will even hit, the Sabo. Remember, guys, Jack is a 7 cost, but he's really an 11 cost when he's on the board, and Kuzan is obviously a 10 cost character. Okay, well, that's it, guys. A little bit of fun today with Purple Black King. I really wish this leader had 5 life. I know people are probably getting sick and tired of hearing that from me with the dual color leaders. I just don't think that this leader needed to have 4 life for what it's doing, even with the ability to gain life, guys. Even with the ability to gain life, this leader is still not one of those, you know, A or S tier leaders. It just doesn't work that way. I think if this leader just had 5 life, that might have been the only thing it needed to push this leader to the next level. I don't know. Call me crazy. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Just please be nice. But that's about it. Now let me just go through the list real quick. the chopper was nice, and guys, I know I made plenty of sequencing mistakes in those games. So the deck probably is even better than it looked in those games because I know I was making a lot of mistakes when I was playing. I was shaking my head like, why did I just do that? People are gonna roast me. You guys know how it goes. But there's plenty of room for improvement here. I think we could probably go up to 4 Rebeccas altogether, and I think we can actually go -2 of the chopper. Well, I don't know. This did help us one game. One game, this card really, really helped us, so maybe not. But the first revision I think I would make is this. I'd go -2 of the Sanji to go +2 of the Hitakiri Kamazo. This card ended up kind of being an all-star one of the games where it just helped me clear up their entire board. It was just so nice for just clearing up the little stuff on the board. Okay, of course I'm having trouble finding it. There it is. Okay, so we got that. I think we can go -1 Sabo to go +1 Rebecca. I think that will just be like one easy fix to go to help with the consistency of the deck. We don't lose any counter power or anything like that, and we also don't lose any blockers, but we get one earlier play, because there was one game where I think there was actually 2 games when we didn't no, I think we got the stage 2 games, and then we didn't get it the other. But the game where we did not get the stage, we had no plays early on. So that does make me want to maybe go up the count of Chopper or Fukuro, and maybe we go up 1 of each. Like go -2 Borsalino, and then go +1 Fukuro, and +1 Tony Chopper. I think that could be a good change for the beginning here. Because like I said, Borsalino is not exactly great. In fact, we probably could just go -2 more of the Borsalinos to go +1 Chopper and +1 Fukuro. But at the same time, getting this card down against certain matchups, just having a 6,000 power blocker is really, really nice. And yes, we have other 6,000 power blockers in Sabo and Captain Kidd, but this is a 4-cost card and those are 5. So just being able to get this down early, maybe even against Blue-Purple Luffy. I mean, I haven't really done any testing, like any major testing against like the meta decks out there, but who knows? Maybe that'll be the way to go to help out with to help it out against the better matchups. What else? I think we probably can go down, go -1 Kuzan and maybe -1 Charlotte Linlin to go plus the 0-cost event we were talking about earlier, the Gum Gum Rain, or excuse me, Gum Gum Jet Gatling. This might be a good addition to the deck as well. Now Suru didn't come up in my play testing, but I think having the extra -2 cost for just 1, that could be very good. After thinking about it, guys, I actually really like the 0 cost in the deck. Number 1 for the trigger we talked about earlier and helping with the bricks. But on top of that, it also, in a subtle way, it helps out with the leader effect. Man, I'm actually thinking about going -2 of the Surus and going up 4 of these Gum Gum Jet Gatlings. I think that might be the way to do it. Because, yes, I got rid of 2 2K counters. However, it's like we turned some of these cards into 1K counters, and then this acts as a 2K counter in the place of it. So hopefully that will work out the way that it just did in my mind. But whatever the case is, I think this is a good addition to the deck. And like I said, I don't think the Suru is really something we want to play out, but who knows? Maybe we do. Maybe we do want to do that. We'll have to do some adjustments more, over time. Because I will say with Suru, we can hit much bigger targets with this Kamazo. You know what? Maybe that's what we do, guys. I'm going to remove the Sanji. All right. Bear with me here. Hear me out. I think Suru is actually better in this deck than the Sanji is. Because this is going to allow us to, number 1, we can play this out. We can't get it out of the trash with Rebecca, but you can play out a 3-cost or lower black character. So we can combo this with Suru, with Rebecca if we need to, right? We can combo the Suru with Rebecca if it's already in our hand, if we need to. And at that point, maybe we do go -1 of the Hitakiri Kamazo for +1 of the Suru. All right, we're doing that. We're doing that for now, guys. Again, adjust the list however you want to, but I do already like this a lot better. I think this could be a little bit better than what we had before. But what I was saying was we can combo the Suru if we have it in hand with the Rebecca. So we can pull out a 2K counter from our trash to replace the one we're about to play from our hand. That's going to go -2 cost on the board. And then we can combo that with our leader effect to maybe KO something bigger with Jack, right? So that way we can go -2 with our leader effect, -2 with Suru, and we're hitting a 3 with Jack. Well, that's hitting a 7 now. And that could be very relevant. I think that's about it, though, guys. Everything else was kind of lining up pretty decently for what the deck does. Understand, guys, this is very much an off-meta rogue deck. We got to respect it for what it is. But it is a lot of fun. Now, one card or one direction I have gone with the... let me type in animal. I have gone another direction with this deck in the past, where it was much more focused on going a late game package like what you see here, but it had more of a focus on the Animal Kingdom Pirate stuff, and the whole idea was let's just go all the way to the late game and we'll slam down Kaido and we'll just pop their entire board, and just that's that. Your whole board's gone. But it had its shortcomings, it had its downfalls, that's for sure. It wasn't just all upside, especially when you play this card out, you go all the way down to 4 Dawn. If you have the stage down, you go back up to 5, and then you'll be on 7 the next turn, which is enough to play out the Jack, this character Jack. But it just never really panned out all that many times to where it just seems so good where we had to run it. But it is an option we can run in this deck if we want to, because there is a searcher I want to mention. I can't remember. It's a 1-cost searcher. Let me type up event. There's a searcher that can grab both Animal Kingdom and Big Mom Pirates cards. And here it is right here. It's called We're Going to Claim the One Piece. And in the past, I have messed around with a version of the deck that I think ran this card, or at least talked about it. And it has, if your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, which ours does, of course, or excuse me, has the Animal Kingdom or Big Mom Pirates type, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Animal Kingdom or Big Mom Pirates type card and add it to your hand, and the trigger activates the main effect as well. So this is another option we can go, but I think if we're going to focus more on this, I don't think we focus on the Kuzan anymore, and I think from there, or maybe we do actually, maybe we keep this as the one like top end card that we run, but then we go more of a Big Mom Pirates package with the Animal Kingdom Pirates stuff that you see here. But I don't know. That also lets us search up the stage, so I mean, it's really not bad. It's not a bad idea. All right, but that's about it, guys. I'm done yapping. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. The deck is a lot of fun to play. I definitely recommend it, but I'm just going to tell you right up front here, guys, this is not a meta contender deck, at least not in my experience. Who knows? Maybe, hey, your mileage may vary, and if it does, please help us out in the comment section below. Tell us what's working out better for you. Okay? All right, I'm done. Let's get the outro page on here, guys. Thank y'all so much for all the support. Thank y'all for making it this far if you did. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because, guys, if you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, if you're using my TCG Player affiliate link, however you're helping me out, I really, really appreciate it, guys. If you're a Patreon or PayPal, if you're donating on there, if you're a Playmat supporter, YouTube member, part of the Discord community, however you're helping me out or however you're helping out the community, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Until next time, guys. Peace.